Impassioned calls for the government to remove LGBT content from primary school curriculum, and there are equally impassioned calls that children of 11 and under should be taught about LGBT relationships, the two petitions we're debating here today. But they do reflect real anxiety over this hugely sensitive issue. The feelings run very high, understandably so. Some worry about exposing young children to age-inappropriate material and foisting adult preoccupations on them, whilst others feel strongly that some children will not be able to make informed decisions about health, well-being and relationships without developing an understanding of LGBT issues at a fairly young age. I will make a few brief points on the issue, which chiefly relate to the teaching of transgender ideology. These points are informed by a very unhappy experience in my constituency, where an academy trust developed a syllabus designed for primary school children promoting transgender ideology. The ideas at the heart of this, the teaching materials that were proposed, and the manner in which the matter was handled caused massive upset among the parent body and a catastrophic breakdown in trust. And indeed, we all have loads of WhatsApp groups we're on. The busiest WhatsApp group I have is the group in my constituency which the parents have entitled Protect Our Children. Thankfully, there has now been a resolution of thoughts to this, with parents rightly being put back in control of what their primary age children are taught. But this episode has impressed on me the need to remember that our understanding of transgender theory is by no means settled, and there is not a consensus of opinion. Of course.
On the point about primary school age children, as a mother myself of a primary age school child, I did it for a while. As a mother of a child of primary school age myself, I do not want him or other children to learn about sex full stop, whether that's straight or gay. I also do not want to see young children at primary school to be taught about changing gender. Whatever people want to do when they're older, no problem. You know, life's short, be happy. But does my honourable friend agree that we need to be protecting the innocence of children and their childhood, especially at primary school age?
Well, and indeed, respecting parents, because, of course, the long-term emotional consequences of transition are not properly understood. We should be careful about teaching contested concepts to young and impressionable children. We would not be doing right by the majority of parents if we fail to acknowledge that the idea that sex is a sign of birth is not a universally held view. But the complexities of explaining this to children of 11 and under are pretty obvious. I also struggle to see how this issue could be taught honestly and objectively without explaining that there may be other reasons why a person feels uncomfortable about themselves or their body. But teaching primary age children is clearly hugely problematic. Instinctively, for these reasons, I feel that the complex issue of transgender ideology has no real place on the primary school curriculum. But it's perhaps unrealistic to think that issues relating to gender will not crop up. Of course they will. Some children will question their gender, and many will meet transgender adults. So where primary schools feel such education does need to be included, and that will not be everywhere, we need to support teachers in navigating the sensitivities and to ensure that schools are safe places for everybody. The government needs to urgently, therefore, issue clear and prescriptive guidance on content and, as anticipated, I think, by the current review, to have a firm grip on the materials that schools used. I would prefer that what is taught should reflect the fact that there is a divergence of view on the issue of transgender, but really at primary school level, what is taught about this need not go much further than emphasising that the choices people make should never be the subject of unkindness. The emphasis on parental engagement with the curriculum is welcome. Communication and trust between parents and schools is very important here. But whilst it's sensible to let parents see what their children will be taught before lessons are delivered, and whilst a parental opt-out may be useful, children are, of course, bound to discuss these topics amongst themselves. So the focus, I think, must be on teachers getting it right and ensure that the message primary age children receive is not confusing, age inappropriate, or sexualised.